Coach Hugo?
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon. First of all, some injury news. First of all, we have Grant Kakana. Grant left the camp yesterday, this morning, after the medical check of yesterday evening. So the doctor couldn't give us a guarantee that Grant should be ready for the game of Friday. Even worse, today and tomorrow it was unable to train. Then we have the trip to Nigeria, and then on Thursday you have the pre-match training. So he shouldn't be ready for Friday, and there was even a question mark for the game of Tuesday. Those are two important games, and therefore we decided to free Grant and to go home, and we replaced him with the given MC Mango from Kaiser Chiefs. Second problem, but there is no problem, is Koliso Mudau. So everybody knows what happens in the final of Saturday. But after the medical check yesterday evening, doctor gave me the guarantee, and also the player, that is not that bad, and he will be ready also to train today and for the game of Friday. Third, little problems with Tebogo, Mokoena, Aubrey Modiba, Batusi, Obas, and Roman Williams. Nothing to worry about, but okay. The little problem is there, but it will give us no problem for the game of Friday. So the guys will train with us, Ronwen a little bit less because he has the shoulder, but for the rest we don't make problems about that. But I have to mention it, that those 4 players have a little problem. It's amazing that from the 6 injured players we have, that there are 6 players of the same team, Sundowns. Sundowns had many injuries this season, and everybody knows, one of the reasons is certainly the overloaded program. They played a lot of games, but what is interesting is that 75% of the injuries are groin and hamstring injuries. And I think there has to be something more than that. I hope that the medical staff of Sundowns can find the reason for that, because next season it will be exactly the same. They will have the same overloaded program. They will play PSL, they will play MTN, they will play Champions League. There is even a World Cup for the clubs at the end of the season. And I'm a little bit worried because in September, October, November, we have probably the qualifiers for AFCON. Imagine that the same situation is what it is today, and that I have to miss 6 players. Everybody knows that the basic of Bafana Bafana is Sundowns players. And again, it worries me a little bit that we could have a situation in September of having 5-6 players we can't select because of injuries. So again, I really hope that the medical staff can find the problem, because again, the same injuries are coming back even every time, groin and hamstring. And that cannot be only from overloaded programs. So it worries me a little bit. It's not a problem for now. But again, we have very important games in front of us. And I really hope that in September, October, or November, for those important games, that we don't have those problems. Let's go to Nigeria and Zimbabwe. Qualifiers for World Cup. Everybody knows that every one of us wants to go and wants to be qualified for the World Cup in 26, but we are in front of two very tough games. First of all, Nigeria, finalist AFCON, players who are playing in the best competitions in Europe. At the other side, we saw also what we can do against them on AFCON. If we had a little bit luck on our side, we were in the final and not Nigeria. I think we were the best team in the semi-finals. We could have won that, so we don't have to be afraid. The other game against Zimbabwe is different. It's, a game between neighbors. I think that Zimbabwe, after the ban of AFCON last year, they have another team with another coach. So from that side, it will be a tough game. But if you see our performances of the last, let's say, 6 months, AFCON, the game in Algeria, where we did a very good game. So we have to be confident. And we have to believe in our chances. And I know that some people say, yes, but Algeria, you received 3 goals. From the 3 goals, there were 2 individual mistakes. So for me, those 3 goals we conceded are not so important. The most important thing for me was that we brought a very good performance against Algeria. A very good performance. So it has to give us confidence for us to achieve our goal, and our goal has to be at least 4-6. I don't want to lose any of those 2 games. I want to win one and I want to have a draw. That means 4-6, we will stay in the race for qualifying, for the World Cup. And that has to be our goal for the next 2 games. I thank you.
Thank you. Taking questions now for Coach Hugo before we ask the players to go ahead and answer your.
Coach, I don't know if you mentioned it. The nature of Grant's injury?
His hamstring.
Oh.
Next question. 2, CS, go ahead. 3, 4.
Coach, what would it mean to you to take...
Do you want to stand up? Sorry, CS.
Sorry.
Thanks.
Coach, what would it mean to you to take Bafana Bafana to a World Cup? And what do you think that would have, that knock-on effect would be for the rest of the country, should you qualify?
You know, it's, I said it already before, being qualified for big tournaments like AFCON and World Cup is very important for the country. You see what happened after our 3rd place in AFCON. Suddenly everyone, wow, South Africa. It's important for South African football, but it's also important for South African players. Suddenly there is interest. So it's very important again now, after our good performance again in AFCON, that we are qualified also for World Cup, because if we don't, then they put you back again to where we started 6-7 months ago. So therefore it's very important, and we believe in it, and I know that we are able to do it, because we have a good team, we have a quality team. But again, I said that when the draw was there, you have Nigeria as one of the better teams in Africa, but you have those tricky games. Lesotho, Zimbabwe. Normally, when you see the quality, okay, everybody says yes. But it's neighbor challenge. And this is always different. So there are tricky games. But again, if we can achieve again the level of AFCON, we have to be able to qualify for a World Cup again. And again, for me, it's very, and I think for all Africans, it's very important that we qualify after so many years and after a good performance in AFCON to qualify again for the World Cup.
Coach, were you surprised to see Kuliso playing for the whole match in the final despite the fact that he had a shoulder issue?
Yeah, you know, I was surprised the moment self because you saw Kuliso after he fell, and then a little bit later you saw the physiotherapist making sign that he has to be changed. Then you saw suddenly he was with bandage. Then I said, okay, second half, because I saw him coming out of the pitch, and that he didn't want, or that he felt that it was difficult to go on. And then the second half started, and he's playing again, and he's playing all the game. So I talked with him, and certainly they give him something to have less pain. So after the checkup of yesterday evening, I spoke with the doctor, and even Sunday evening, I had news for Kuliso that said, no problem. It's not so bad that you think. And that gives me a little bit confidence that he should be ready. And yesterday after the checkup, okay, we will see. Certainly he needs a bandage. Certainly maybe he needs something to have less pain. But Kuliso will be all right for the game against Nigeria.
Laurent?
Coach, just how important is it that he is 100% fit, Kuliso is 100% fit, because you saw what Lukman did at AFCON. You've seen what he's done for his club as well. He's probably one of their most dangerous players now that Osimhen is ruled out. So how important is that Kuliso is 100% fit for the Nigeria game?
That they will be 100%.
Yeah, because Lukman is obviously a danger man.
You know, I can't guarantee that they will be 100%, but I think 95% it will be like this. So those injuries are, yes, how you call it, a little. You feel it, but it's not really a problem. And if it's good, if we give them good treatment now the next days, and we look a little bit at what they do on training, I think there will be no problem for Friday.
I think sailor should be changed to soldier. And we're going to go in the front here, at the back, there. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Coach. I hope that you're good. Coach, how important is it that you've got the same sort of good understanding in around the players within the camp? Because I think that's what you've also brought in. Of course, the squad is winning; they're doing great after AFCON. But how important is it to keep that healthy relationship in around the players?
I think that's one of the big qualities of this group. It is really a group. I said it already, the way they treat each other, the way they are, the mentality in the group. It's fantastic, and this was one also the reason, of an important reason, why we did it so well in AFCON. AFCON gave us a boost of confidence because we did good performances. And you see now also the new guys are coming in the group and there's nothing changing. For me, I said it already, it's the quality first. Was the quality of the player, and the player needs to have the quality what I think he needs to have. But next to that, the mentality is as important as the quality. You can have a very good player with a bad mentality. It's terrible. Or the opposite. So we are looking also to, okay, first, what is the quality? Okay, very good player. But what is his mentality? And one or two players can really ruin everything because of their bad mentality. So I see now, okay, we are not so long together, but you see immediately the way they are eating together and the talks between each other, the way they treat each other. Okay, even with the new players, there is no problem. Immediately they adapt and immediately they are received by the others. So, yeah, it's for me as a coach, it's fantastic to see that.
Right, question at the back? No, we're at the back. Then we're there, then we're here.
Coach,
Please don't forget to say your name and also the media house you represent.
Jabulangiti from News 24. Coach,
Speak loud because you are very far.
it's Jabulangiti from News 24. What do you make of this expanding football calendar? I mean, the Club World Cup, there are more teams, AFCON, more teams, and there's this growing trend where players have to play more games, and I think Sundowns are an example of that in terms of the effect. And then what would you like to be done in terms of having a player, like more priority on player welfare? Because there was one coach who said that because of the more games being played, players might consider not playing for the national teams because obviously the club
Yeah, but you know that's a program. Huh? We can't change that. And again, when you see the games the players of Sundowns played, it's terrible in one season and all important games. You can't say, okay, MTM don't interest me, PSL don't interest me, Champions League don't interest me. African League, don't it? No, they are all important games, and yeah, you have to manage that. You have to manage that, and so this year there was also AFCON. Huh? We don't have to forget that. So I know that this is an overloaded program, but yeah, they are professionals, and yeah, you have to deal with it. You have to manage it. But again, what I said in the beginning of this press conference, it worries me a little bit. You can have injuries, but now we have injuries always from the same club, 6 players of the same club. And I think that again, that the medical staff of Sundowns have to think about that. This is more than only overloading. Why overloading? But again, it's not. Yeah, it's my problem because I need those players, but it's certainly the problem of Sundowns.
All right, go ahead.
Coach, based on the injury concerns that you just raised, how important will it be for you to have that meeting with the coaches that you've always wanted to raise such issues, hopefully before the start of the season?
Yes, what can I say about that? I tried to have contact with the PSL, with the league, in the last, let's say, 6-7 weeks. There were 3 attempts, but till now I didn't, for different reasons, but don't ask me the details. I don't want to give more comment on that. But for different reasons, I didn't meet them.
All right, we're going to move on from that question. I'm just cognizant of time. Benji, I see you've got your hand up. I'm going to end the questions aside with Temba being the last question for the coach. We're going to do players, and then I'm just cognizant of time for your one-on-ones as well. So there is still more time. I'll leave at least 20 minutes for you guys to engage with coach and players. It was question, and we'll end up with Temba. Go ahead.
Coach Relebohile from YFM. Coach, the game on Friday against Nigeria, how do you approach it? Do you approach it in a sense of revenge of what happened at AFCON, or you try a different approach in making sure that, you know what, as you rightfully said in the opening statement, that you want to stay in the race and making sure that at the end of the day, you stand a chance of qualifying for the 2026 FIFA World Cup?
I didn't really understand you.
I'm saying, how do you approach the game against Nigeria on Friday?
Oh.
Do you approach it in a sense of revenge of what happened at AFCON in the semi-finals, or you try different?
No, we just want to have a good result against Nigeria because it's qualified for the World Cup. We don't think about revenge. We don't think about whatever. It's a total different game. You play for qualifiers for a World Cup, and you know, losing the game should not really be a disaster because after those 2 games now we have still 6 games to play. But I'd rather not to have a defeat in Nigeria, and we know all about them. we know all about them, but they know all about us also. But I think they will not start the game in the same mentality that they did for AFCON. They know now how strong we are. And I think we have to use that also. We have to use our status being third in AFCON. But we have to stay humble also. Don't think now, okay, we are strong enough now. We still have to work, and we still have to fight, and we still have to need the same mentality that we have in AFCON. But I think it's different. It's different. How you approach the game, certainly from Nigerian side. But there's also there are changes. They have a new coach. They play a little bit different also than in AFCON. So it's up to us to do the same thing, what we did in AFCON, but now with the victory.
Coach, I was just looking at how difficult it is to travel to Hugo. It's just a complicated trip. How much of a relief is the arrangement that the association has made in terms of the charter flight, considering how close the games are?
The what?
The charter. Does charter make a difference?
Oh, I'm very happy. Really. I'm very happy that we have a charter. Because the past weeks, okay, we looked at the possibilities and the options. But taking a regular flight was not an option. You are 20 hours on the way with waiting times and so on. So yeah, if you have to do that, and yeah, that was also a little bit, I think, why we lost in Rwanda. We had a terrible travel there. Not only the flight, but then 3 hours in a bus. So after 6 hours flight, so we played against Benin, and then you have to travel, and so now we have a charter. We step in the plane, and 6 hours later we are there. So I'm really very happy, and I have to thank SAFA for the efforts they did, the financial efforts, because it's not cheap. But they also understand the importance of that game and the importance to travel on a easy way, let's say it like that. 6 hours is long, but if you step in the plane and 6 hours later you are there, it's not so long. So again, I'm very happy with it.
Temba, round it up for us, please.
Thank you so much. Temba Shambalala, Joseph from Sports. Coach, it's not every day that we see a 17-year-old within the Bafana Bafana setup, but you've taken that brave step and bringing a young Relebohile Mofokeng. How is his attitude when you looked at him mixing with even more senior players like your Ikram and CBC within the national team?
He's a very humble guy, really. I was very happy to see him yesterday, and he had respect for every player. You see, really, that guy knows that he's young and that he needs to have respect for all those players who showed 10 times more than he. They were already 7-8 years in first division. He scored 14 goals. He was fantastic. He was fantastic. But he knows that it is still a long way to go. I see it on his attitude. And I'm very happy with that, because, you know, when you receive so much publicity, like he this season, and then certainly with the winning goal of Saturday, yeah, it's a nice guy. And I'm very happy that he's like that. So I hope that he stays in his head like he is now. The quality is there. Nobody has to discuss that. So, but being humble, like he is now, with all this publicity around and what they told about him going to Europe and going there and whatever. Yeah, he's still, I think, the same Mofokeng of 10 months ago, and I'm very happy about that.